Welcome back to the Empowering Family Health podcast. I'm delighted to be back. I've been away for a number of weeks, as you probably are aware of, and I have had a long, much needed rest, and now I am back with some more episodes and to continue with the Corona Sleep podcast series. I also have a lot of health experts and professionals lined up over the next coming weeks who are going to bring you more information, more education and advice that can help you to be empowered to take whatever choices that you want from the information and apply it to your life to help you have a more healthy and happy life. And that's what this is about at the end of the day, is really empowering you to make the choices, empowered choices, informative choices. And we do have the power, we really do, to do so much on all levels, physical, mental and emotional, which can impact all areas of our lives, including our relationships and our family and our children. So on the episode 1 of the Corona Sleep we spoke about, I really gave you an introduction and told you that, this whole pandemic has really had an impact on everybody. And there was a study from the British Sleep Society where they showed us that roughly about 3/4 of the people in the United Kingdom have had some kind of a change in their sleep during the pandemic. And a John Hopkins neurologist labelled it coronasomnia. So maybe you've heard of that term, coronasomnia. So that's been out for some time now, and a lot of information and talk around that, and how this whole pandemic, all the worry, concerns, stresses, has impacted so many people, whether you're a child or an adult or a professional. It has impacted everybody on some level. So I'm here today with these episodes, 6 episodes that I'm going to dedicate to the pandemic and Corona Sleep, and help us to sleep better through this whole situation, really take our power back and to be able to sleep well and effectively. So today I'm going to be talking all about sleep and the food connection. And this is a really big one. And we do know that sleep and the food that we eat have a very big connection. And overeating and eating convenience foods is a problem that many of us are encountering as a result of not sleeping well. So when you sleep better, you have a probability of eating better too. And that really is so true. There's a lot of studies as well that clearly show that sleep deprivation can alter your blood glucose and hormone levels that are involved in regulating metabolism. So hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin, they become imbalanced, and this is what leads us to eat more foods, but the wrong types of foods as well. And this has been shown to increase obesity and diabetes, and this is really rising. These numbers of obesity and diabetes are really rising very fast. According to the International Diabetes Federation, here's a few statistics that they have. Okay, so listen to this. So diabetes is one of the fastest growing health challenges of the 21st century, with the number of adults living with diabetes having more than tripled over the last 20 years. That's really a big, a bold statement. Approximately 463 million adults worldwide, this is 20 years of age to 79 years of age, are living with diabetes. And by 2045, this figure is estimated to rise to 700 million. So quite phenomenal. And there is a lot that we can do to slow this down, to prevent it. And getting good quality sleep is definitely one of them. Half of the 463 million adults living with diabetes today are actually unaware that they have this condition. Imagine, so many people are unaware that they have diabetes. Now, globally, 11.3% of deaths are due to diabetes, because there's so many issues and impacts and health challenges that occur, that happen as a result of diabetes. And almost half of these deaths are with people under the age of 60. So quite significant. So diabetes, there's a couple of different categories. I'm just going to briefly explain. There's type 1 diabetes, which is an autoimmune condition. This is basically where your body is producing little or no insulin. I'm not going to go into it in too much depth. Type 2 diabetes is really where it's the most common type of diabetes. And initially this is where You may encounter high blood glucose levels, and the body responds with insulin. But over time, with these continuous high blood glucose levels, the body is producing more and more insulin, and eventually your body becomes insulin resistant, which means that your body loses the ability to get this glucose into the cells. So that's probably a really brief explanation. But type 2 diabetes is the most common. And then there's gestational, which is when you're pregnant, and usually this happens towards the end of the pregnancy as well, and most of the time it disappears after pregnancy. Now, diabetes is a major health concern, and it is a major cause of blindness and kidney failure, heart attacks, stroke, and amputation as well. So there's a lot that can occur as a result of diabetes, and this is over a long period of time that this can occur. So diabetes and sleep are really very intrinsically connected. And many people with type 2 diabetes, they do experience poor quality of sleep or insomnia. And high blood sugar or hyperglycemia and low blood sugar, hypo. So hyper is too much and hypo is too little or low. So many people have this imbalance of blood sugar during the night, and this is what causes the interruption in sleep. So many people may find they're waking up in the middle of the night. And this whole process really throws out our whole metabolism. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And when our metabolism is out of whack, it affects everything. It affects all our cellular functioning, not just converting food into energy, but all our hormone synthesis as well. So the production of hormones, our blood pressure, and so much more. It's just your whole metabolism is thrown out of whack. And sleep is the most important thing that you can do to regulate your metabolism, including your blood glucose as well, and all the mechanisms that control your appetite and weight gain as well. So today I'm going to look at nutrients that can help you to sleep well, and how much sleep that you get as well. And good nutrition is an important part of our health, and for many aspects of our health, including sleep. A lot of people do not consider that, but good nutrition, we do need it for good sleep as well. So I'm also going to be looking at the microbiome. So the microbiome is home to trillions of bacteria and microbes, and the sleep connection to your gut as well. I'm going to be talking about that. And this is where all the microbes are living, is in our gut. And lastly, I'm going to dive into our eating habits as well. So namely what we eat and how this is affecting our sleep patterns, and also importantly when we're eating as well. So that's a really big factor. So I'm going to give you some nutrients and some vitamins and minerals that are important for getting good quality sleep at nighttime. So the main vitamins and minerals that can be found in food that aid in promoting sleep are magnesium and calcium, your vitamin C, believe it or not, vitamin D, and we're going to look at vitamin B5 and B6. Now all your B vitamins are very important, but in particular I'm going to look at B5 and B6. Also potassium, prebiotics, probiotics, and fiber. These also help aiding in good sleep as well. Melatonin, we absolutely need. We can get this in foods as well. Melatonin, and amino acids as well, like L-theanine and tryptophan. Now that's a lot in that already. So let's have a look at some of these components. So melatonin is a sleep hormone, okay? And we absolutely need melatonin to enable us to get asleep, but also to keep us asleep during the nighttime. It is a sleep hormone, and it's the primary factor that's affecting your sleep. Your whole sleep-wake cycle even is regulated by your circadian rhythm. So you may have heard me speak about the circadian rhythm many times. This is your body's internal clock, so it's telling you when it's daytime, when it's nighttime. And melatonin primarily is activated at nighttime. It is the night hormone. So we can find melatonin in foods like pistachios, walnuts, and tart cherry juice as well. So that's where you can find melatonin. Now tryptophan is an amino acid, and the body needs tryptophan to produce serotonin. Now serotonin is the precursor to melatonin. Okay, so it's tryptophan, serotonin, melatonin. So they are very dependent on each other. Now tryptophan can be found in protein foods. So these are your amino acids. So you can find, the thing about tryptophan is it can be easily absorbed when you eat it with some carbohydrates. Okay, so there's a long explanation into that. I'm not going to go into it, but the trick is to eat some carbohydrates, because this can separate the tryptophan, so it can go across the blood-brain barrier into the brain, where it's made into serotonin and melatonin. So foods like poultry, so turkey, chicken, and then your nuts and seeds as well, like sunflower seeds, chia, pumpkin seeds. These are all high in tryptophan. Now, L-theanine is another one. This is another amino acid, and this really helps to relax the brain, the mind. So you may find at night time you're going to bed and the head is just churning with all these thoughts, all the things that you need to do or you should have done, or worries or concerns, upsets. Many people have been experiencing that. So L-theanine is a great one for this, to help relax the mind, and this can be found in herbal teas, namely green teas. Okay, so L-theanine. Selenium is another one. Selenium helps to make proteins that are critical for brain function, and selenium is pretty much involved in this whole process of the brain clearing out, the cleaning that happens at night time when we're asleep. Selenium is also very important for our immune system and thyroid function as well. So again, we can find that in Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts is a very big one. Vitamin C. Now, a lot of people don't associate vitamin C with sleeping well, but we know vitamin C is an antioxidant, and it's very important for our immune system, but it also does play a significant role in boosting sleep as well. And studies have shown that people who have greater concentrations of vitamin C do actually have better sleep than those who don't have a lot of vitamin C in their system. So there you go, vitamin C. Calcium. Calcium is a natural sleep aid because it helps in the production of your tryptophan, so your amino acid tryptophan, and it also helps in the production of magnesium. And I'm going to be talking about magnesium. This is very critical as well, magnesium. So many people are deficient in magnesium. So calcium is good for that. Vitamin D, most people are deficient in vitamin D. Most of us know that vitamin D is good for our bone health, but it's also important for regulating our mood, helping to support our immune system as well, and helping to control inflammation in the brain and the body. And we do know inflammation is behind a lot of diseases and disruptions in the body. So vitamin D, and it has a very strong correlation with daytime sleepiness as well. So a lot of people who are deficient in D are found to, people who have daytime sleepiness are found to have this deficiency of vitamin D. And there has also been a strong link, evidence, to show this relationship between sleep as well and vitamin D, because the body can produce its own vitamin D when it's exposed to daylight or sunshine. And that is why it's actually called hormone, vitamin D, even though it's vitamin D, but it is actually considered a hormone. And there are receptors in our brain, in the sleep centers of our brain, that help to regulate sleep. So vitamin D is crucial for that whole sleep-wake cycle system as well. Omega-3s, really important. Omega-3s, we know, helps reduce inflammation, and it's important for our brain health, but it does actually help improve our cardiovascular, it balances our cortisol levels, and it's critical for deep sleep. Really critical for deep sleep. And actually there was a study done in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, and it found that the combination of omega-3s and vitamin D from fatty fish like salmon, they've been shown to improve sleep in these participants who've taken part in this study. And researchers think that it's because of the effect of those nutrients on regulating serotonin. So these omega-3s and vitamin D is required for regulating serotonin. Flax seeds, chia seeds, they're good sources of omega-3 as well as your salmon. So vitamin B6. So this is a cofactor. All the B vitamins are cofactors, and all the B vitamins are pretty much involved in the nervous system. But without vitamin B6, you really do lack the ability to relax your whole central nervous system. This is the key, probably one of the key vitamins in all the B vitamins. And it really is a key factor involved in all these enzymatic processes and activities in your body. Now, vitamin B5. So vitamin B5 is it's a cofactor required to make cortisol in the adrenals, right? So it's in the stress response. So a bit of vitamin B5 is pretty much involved in that. And acetylcholine in the brain as well. And acetylcholine is a key neurotransmitter that's involved in your REM sleep, so your dream sleep. So it's pretty much involved in this paralysis. So this paralysis that we experience in REM sleep and our dream sleep is necessary to stop us from acting out our dreams. So it's a safety function. And this all happens in the back of the brainstem in the brain. So magnesium is really, really important. Magnesium is nature's natural tranquilizer. And really magnesium helps to relax the whole central nervous system. It does over 300 jobs in the body. And there was a study published in the Journal of Research of Medical Science. And it showed that by adding this supplement of magnesium in elderly participants, it really helps to improve their insomnia and their sleep quality as well. So magnesium is super important. Now, this is all great, having these nutrients, all these vitamins and minerals in your food consumption, but are you absorbing these nutrients effectively? So this is really, really important, because a lot of people have what's called leaky gut. A lot of people who aren't even aware of it. And if you do, then it's going to have an impact on how well you absorb your nutrients. And if you have things like bad bacteria, yeast overgrowth, bloating, or if you have too much wind or gas, then this may be an indication, and you may need to change what it is that you're actually eating. So maybe you can do an elimination diet. So there's a lot of foods that irritate our gut, like dairy is one of them, and wheat. So maybe by doing an elimination diet as well, this can help to eliminate the foods that are irritating your gut. So other supplements that you can use is omega-3s. They're fantastic for inflammation. You'll hear me repeating that over and over. So inflammation, omega-3s are great for that. And also you can get a supplement, glutamine. And this really helps to repair your gut and the lining. And we're going to talk a little bit more about your microbiome and your gut flora later on. So foods that make you tired, this is another important thing to consider. So we do have foods that make us tired, and we do have foods that make us give us energy, or false energy sometimes. So foods that are rich in protein and carbohydrates, these can make people feel sleepier than other foods. And there is an amino acid called tryptophan, which is in many protein-rich foods, and this helps to produce serotonin. Serotonin makes us feel good and helps to relax us. So carbohydrates can help the body to actually absorb tryptophan and help it to cross over that blood-brain barrier, because this amino acid needs to be isolated. So carbohydrates can help to do that. A great recipe that I like to use is an oat milk nighttime recipe. I'm not a fan of dairy, so I use oat milk, or coconut milk you can use as well, or almond milk. So it's a mixture of warming spices with turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, ginger, and almond butter, and just whisks that up in a blender. And you can adjust the amounts according to your taste. Ginger is very strong, of course. So the almond butter is a healthy fat and protein, and ginger, highly, highly anti-inflammatory. Cinnamon helps to regulate blood sugar, and turmeric is great it's a big, massive anti-inflammatory, great for brain health as well, great for people with arthritis, any kind of arthritic pain. And black pepper is a key ingredient here, because black pepper helps to make turmeric more bioavailable. In other words, it can help turmeric be absorbed into the body by up to 2,000%. And there was a study done to show that as well. So black pepper. So even in your curries, if you're using turmeric, always put in some black pepper as well. So what else do I have? So some other foods that contain tryptophan: turkey, oatmeal, Greek yogurt. And if we start eating foods like greasy foods like cheeseburgers and chips, or French fries, we call them chips in Ireland, these can keep you up at night with heartburn. And according to the National Sleep Foundation, gastrointestinal reflux, or GERD, it is one of the most common issues that cause sleep disruptions. So be mindful of what it is that you're eating before you go to bed at night. Eating a big lunch as well may cause your blood sugar to rise, and then you get a dip then after that. And if you are already sleep deprived, then around the 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this is the afternoon slump. And if you are sleep deprived, then this blood sugar issue is going to affect you even more. So be mindful of that. If you're driving or working with machinery, you really need to be aware of that. And this is something that really got me when I was working in my 9 to 5 job. I had to be mindful not to eat too many carbs and too much if it disrupted my blood sugar, because I was more inclined to just absolutely need to fall asleep and I had to go back to work. So the types of food that you eat can make you more sleepy as well. And there's a right time for the types of foods. So like that oatmeal recipe is a great one to take before you go to bed, maybe an hour or so before you go to bed at night time. So you see, the foods that we eat, it activates our digestive system once we start to eat, and it starts a whole metabolic process, and it creates heat in your body. Because it's actively doing something, it creates heat. And this is why when you eat a big meal too close to bedtime, it can interfere with your body's natural sleep process, because your body's core temperature is supposed to reduce, and if you start eating, it's going to heat up the body. So that's another reason why we don't eat late at night. So there's a lot to consider when it comes to food and sleep, but there is more. Did you know that your gut health in particular, the microbiome, plays a major role in your sleep as well? So probiotics, they're really important for gut health, and having good gut health really helps you sleep better. And people with insomnia, they're more likely to have IBS, as IBS improves, your insomnia will improve as well. So this has been shown in studies. So our gut is home to trillions and trillions of bacteria called the microbiome, and these help to digest food, process waste, influence our hormones. It does so much. And sleep, according to science, has a really strong relationship with our gut. And the more healthier our gut microbiome is, the better we sleep. So sleep and the microbiome, they're very much connected in a number of ways. And the microbiome, it can influence our circadian rhythm, our sleep-wake cycles, and the hormones that affect our whole sleep and wakefulness as well. So our sleep really does affect the health of our microbiome and vice versa. So also an unhealthy microbiome can increase your pain sensitivity as well, which makes it more difficult for you to get asleep and stay asleep at times. So pain is something else to consider, to have a really healthy microbiome. And it has been shown in so many studies as well, when you're sleep deprived, your sensation, your pain sensitivity, and your threshold, it's massively affected. Several of your hormones are affected in your gut, like dopamine, serotonin, and GABA, and these all help to regulate your mood, and also help to promote sleep as well. And cortisol is our stress hormone. So cortisol and melatonin, they play a big role in our sleep-wake cycle, and they influence our gut microbes as well. So the microbiome really does have a massive influence on the whole circadian rhythm, and 90% of our serotonin is made in our gut, and melatonin is 400 times more available in our gut than in our brain as well. So melatonin is a crucial hormone involved in the whole sleep. Now, stress and blood glucose, I want to touch on that. So stress and sleep, they have a very big bidirectional relationship with each other, and sleep can negatively impact our sleep patterns, which leads to insufficient sleep. And cortisol, our stress hormone, plays a big role in this. So when our circadian rhythm is working optimally, it's normally highest in the morning time and lowest in the evening time. So this is what allows us to wake up with energy. Cortisol is what gets us up out of bed in the morning time. So we need cortisol for energy. And cortisol does have its place, but it needs to reduce in the evening time to allow melatonin to switch on, if you like, and allows the onset of sleep and the transitioning of sleep throughout the night time. Now, cortisol helps to keep blood glucose as well at adequate levels. So when blood glucose is low, cortisol kicks in, and this causes glucose levels to increase, and in turn cortisol is our wake up hormone. So this is what wakes us up during the night time. Now, when the adrenals are tired, this may lead rather to low hormonal levels as well. So when our adrenals are tired, this may disrupt sleep during the night time with low blood sugar. Cortisol helps maintain blood glucose levels, as I said, and blood glucose is normally low in the night. But if your adrenals are fatigued and the levels are not adequate, the body needs fuel for cells, even when we're sleeping at night time. So when the levels go too low, this sets off an alarm and wakes the person up to refuel. And we may not sufficiently be able to refuel if our adrenals are tired. So waking up between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, this is where this predominantly happens, where you will often find low glucose levels waking us up. So having a healthy snack before bed might help. Eating small amounts of food. Ideally, we're not supposed to eat really before we go to bed, but if you don't want to go to bed hungry, and if you are someone who has trouble with blood glucose, then maybe eating a couple of bites of protein and a complex carbohydrate. So a high quality fat like almond butter on a whole grain slice of toast, something like that will suffice. Chronic lack of sleep is now regarded as a health hazard, and it's been associated with several health consequences. So like lower immunity, cardiovascular problems, type 2 diabetes, the list is endless. It affects everything. So really food is a very big factor in us getting good sleep. Now, why eating at night doesn't work? Well, our cortisol is responsible for stabilizing our blood sugar, like I said. So when we eat sugary snacks and desserts, sometimes people like desserts after their dinner, this can impact on our blood glucose, so be mindful of that. And the purpose really of not eating big meals 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed is to control your blood sugar and cravings. And late night eating can cause weight gain. It can cause indigestions and interruptions with sleep. And in the long term, it can lead to type 2 diabetes. So again, something else to consider. So eating late at night can interfere with the body's internal clock. We were never meant or designed to eat late at night, because we've evolved over thousands of years where we never ate late at night time. Now, our ghrelin and leptin, these are the two hormones that are involved in our drive for hunger. So ghrelin makes us more hungry and leptin makes us feel full. So if we have more ghrelin, and this usually happens when we're sleep deprived, because the body needs energy if we're tired. If you just think about it, it makes sense. So ghrelin makes us eat more food, but it makes us eat the wrong type of food, because we need glucose. Glucose is the quickest form of energy that our body can take. So that is why your body is really, really intelligent. So time restricted eating is another thing to consider as well. So not eating for 12 hours, and this is primarily done overnight. So if you stop eating at 8 p.m, for example, and begin eating again at 8 a.m, that's 12 hours. A lot of people may go longer than that. The longer you can go, the more of a break that you're giving your body, and you're giving it more time to heal and repair. It's also fantastic for helping people with losing weight as well. You can go 16 hours, but if you are a diabetic or you have any problems, any medical problems, see your doctor or a nutritionist before you go any longer than that as well. Now, foods to avoid before going to bed at night time: spicy foods, because this can really heat the body up. Drinking alcohol. Alcohol may get us asleep at night time, but it does fragment our sleep, and it can interfere with our REM sleep. Caffeine is another big one as well. Caffeine is a stimulant, but it takes a long time to break down. So watch that as well. Energy drinks, that's another big one as well. So energy drinks, there's a lot of caffeine in energy drinks. And a lot of teens and young adults tend to go for the energy drinks. So be mindful of that too. So I hope you enjoyed the podcast today. We spoke all about the vitamins and minerals that you can take in food sources, and you can supplement as well. But primarily, it's best to get them out of real foods. Have a look if you're absorbing your nutrients effectively as well. What's the health of your gut like at the moment? Make sure you're taking plenty of probiotics and prebiotics. Prebiotics feed your good bacteria, so that's really important. We had to look at how your gut can increase your pain sensitivity, all the influence it has over our hormones, our serotonin and melatonin that are made in the gut. There's plentiful available in your gut. Also how it affects our mood as well. And we know mood, anxiety, depression has a big impact on how well we sleep at night. We looked at stress and we looked at blood glucose. and how that bidirectional relationship works. We looked at night eating, the hunger hormones as well, and also foods to avoid late at night. So we covered quite a lot. Quite a lot was covered today. So maybe you might want to listen back on this again. But next week we are going to be talking about alcohol. We're going to go a little bit more in depth on alcohol and medications, how they can impact your sleep as well, and how you can do it better. So really looking forward to the next podcast episode. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Also, watch out for my Ripple Fest quest. I'll be speaking on the 24th of June. So watch out for that. I'll be speaking all about your sleep success and how sleep success can help you live your life to the fullest. So watch out for that. ripplefestquest.com. That's where you can go and get your tickets. Please like this video or audio podcast, depending on what platform you're accessing it on. Do subscribe to my channels and do share it with your friends and families as well, so they can be empowered with this wonderful information. You can access this in the audio form on all your favorite podcasting platforms or on my YouTube channel as well. So just search for Empowering Family Health. And you will get the playlist there for the Empowering Family Health podcast. Also, I just want to tell you about my friend Simone from 360 Health Consultancy. She's going to be joining us in the next couple of weeks, and she is a functional medicine practitioner, and she can help you with your cortisol levels, your wake up cortisol levels. So really testing the state of your adrenals as well. So if you want more information on that, do reach out to me privately, and we will be discussing that on the podcast in the coming weeks. Also, watch out for my Empowering Sleep Success 12-week live group coaching program, which will be starting in September. So really looking forward to that. I do take a small number of people, so do watch out for that. The Empowering Sleep Success Empowering Sleep Success 12-week live group coaching program. Okay, that's it from me. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.